Noon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is for you. Got the moving camera back, got some interesting stuff planned for you today. Interesting in the way that, well, how the heck do we ever make any decisions? How the heck do I ever make any decisions, if nothing else? So many people think that that ideas are what hold us up. Ideas, having a great idea is what keeps us from actually, making money or getting a business going or whatever it is. Like they somehow think like the idea is the missing piece. And when they have a good one, they guard it, they lock it up, and they never want to share it with anybody. And well, I can tell you that, and maybe you've experienced this as well. Ideas are actually not what hold us up. Ideas are a little bit on the common side. It's what, 7 billion people in the world. Chances are other people are having the exact same idea, the exact same problem, and it's just a matter of, executing on it. So we don't lack ideas. What we typically lack is, well, doing the stuff, right? Taking the action, making a decision on which one is the one that we're going to move forward with. Is that what you experience as well? Is that where you are with things? Like, you have a big long list of ideas. Maybe you have a giant portfolio of 1,000 different ideas or things you want to develop. And realistically, like every time you get started, you'll spend like a day or a week like cranking on one of them, and then you're like, ooh, this other one over here looks shinier, and I need to go mess with it. And you bounce between projects, so you end up with a bunch of stuff that's 10% done, and well, you've not actually accomplished what it is that you know that you can accomplish. Is that where you are? Well, I find myself there pretty frequently, actually. I have filing cabinets full of ideas. I have stacks of paper everywhere around me right now, hidden off camera with nothing but ideas and things to do. So what I lack is the ability to like make the decision. What is the one thing, or what's the next thing to work on? And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share with you something I learned all the way back in college, but I keep bringing it back up in my life, and it's what helps me orchestrate or organize all my crazy decisions. And I'm going to share it with you because I have a feeling that you as a domain developer have more domains, more ideas than what you know what to do with, and what you lack is for sure, what's the one project you should start on this year? So we're going to talk about that for sure. If you haven't already, make sure you say hi to everybody in the chat, because they are certainly why you come here, or why I come here, as well as for all of you that are joining me. I'm Drew Wash's Domain to Profit. We got some great domains and some ways to make decisions coming up just after this.
From domain to profit, from a .com to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income from domain to profit. We'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Wash and get started right now.
All righty. Well, I'm going to have some unusual camera changes today. I'm still just kind of using a made-up, rigged-up system to bring the show to you. But I do want to, we're going to bring back Skycam a little bit today. We're going to, use some, because I have to draw some stuff today and share some decision-making with you. So it could be a little sloppy, but, that's okay. That's okay. This stuff often is. Well, thank you, everybody, for saying hi in the chat. Yeah, Lee's bragging about first, and hello, everyone. Yes, Lee definitely beat Michael. So I appreciate you both being here. Ian, nice to have you back as well. Matt, place hoarder image is fire. I got nothing on that. You have to explain that to me sometime. Kimberly, great to have you here as well. And then, yeah, Michael licking his wounds like Lee. Yeah, it happened. It's okay. If I'm not mistaken, Lee cheated, and I think he commented before 3 p.m. It's the beauty of being on YouTube and seeing the live stream. You can comment at any time what is up. So let me see. John Doer. Is it? Ideas are easy. Execution is everything. And man, I'll tell you what, when I was younger, I didn't realize how easy ideas were. I thought that I was kind of somehow I enjoyed the idea that I was special for my ideas. And wow, execution, that is very true. Execution is everything. You did pick one this week. Well, Kimberly, we'll see if this decision-making framework keeps that as your number one, or confirms exactly the decision you made, which is good to me. And sound is coming and going a bit for me. Oh, coming and going. Well, hopefully it fixes. We have sound and it's not squeaking, so I appreciate that piece of it. So we are, of course, going to look at domain names. We do that every single week, and I look forward to doing that. We will do that in a few minutes. I just want to introduce you to the decision-making framework. And what we will do is, once I talk about this for just a couple minutes, we are going to look at domain names, and then what we can do is think about those domain names and the business ideas we come up with for those domain names, and possibly we can plot them and think about which of these domains that we could buy would be the best one to purchase maybe this week. Make sense? Makes sense? I think it makes sense. So we'll see if it executes well. I've not looked at the domain names ahead of time. So as we look through expireddomains.net, it will be the first time I'm seeing them as well. So it could be a complete disaster. You know how some weeks go. There's some weeks there's amazing domains, other weeks there's nothing. So hopefully it's a great week and we will be able to find some great domains. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here and switch out a camera to bring up the long forgotten about, that hasn't been seen in such a long time, Skycam. Boom, Skycam, we missed you. Okay, only kind of. You're okay. I like you as a friend. Okay, so this right here is the 2x2. Have you dealt with 2x2 decision making? So I promised you 4 ways, 4 properties or methods of making a decision, 4 different characteristics. And it does look like the Windows logo. There you go. What this actually is, and I refer to this as my 2x2. My wife hates this when I bust out with the 2x2 talk. I talk about this way too often throughout the year. But I'm a very logical person, but I'm also a very visual thinker and a visual person. So like a to-do list is lost on me. I can't work off to-do lists. I can't work off lists. Even spreadsheets, I know how to use Excel, great at it, but I need things plotted in a visual way for me to make quick decisions. So if you're a visual learner similar to me, this is going to really help you see exactly what it is that you should be doing first. So on the 2x2, this is like as simple as you could possibly so it's exactly what you might think. It is a 2x2 grid. And what we are trying to do is plot our decisions and opportunities onto this specific grid. So the way that I do this, and realistically, there's no set rule on this. That's the beauty of this, is as long as we are determining what we want to measure, and the 4 measurements I have for you, the first one is profit, right? We all want to know what's going to make us the most money. So for profit, I'm going to say we put the high, just a little bit over. Okay, so our high profit over here, low profit down here. What we're saying is, for whatever idea we have, say, maybe we should have done this as we go through domains. I'm going to pull up GoDaddy real quick just to grab one off of the top of the list. Okay, one of the top domains, hey, Ad Factories is back up there, adfactory.com. So say we're like, hey, this Ad Factory is a great domain name, and we would love to build out a ad factory. So we would need all these tools that would help people create great ads that are proven results or whatever it is. And as we think about it, we're like, wow, Ad Factory, if we could really create this system of creating ads, it could be a very high profit system, which I do agree. I think ads, it's a giant multi-billion-dollar industry. So if we can get a piece of that, it could be a very profitable project to be a part of. So Ad Factory, and ADF is kind of what that says. But so essentially what we're saying is, if we were to do the things that we think we would love to do on Ad Factory, it would be pretty profitable. And this is arbitrary, okay? That's the thing, is it's kind of like in your heart in many ways. What do you view the profitability of like adfactory.com and what you would develop on that domain name to be? So I would say it's up there. So on the bottom axis, essentially 2x2 has you take one item, one idea that's important to you, profit being number one. Number two being, in many cases, ease. How easily can you do this? If it's super easy, which is a good thing, we want easy down here and hard down here. So, and we can see that. Okay. Well, essentially, so where is Ad Factory? Well, it just so happened to be plotted exactly correctly. Ad Factory, if we were to create a system that people paid us $20 a month and they could get in and create ads and all the software and stuff that we'd have to put into it, that'd be some really freaking hard development, right? That's not a Towing.com or a simple directory type thing. That is really complicated stuff that we would have to do. It'd be very expensive to do, which is a different access altogether. So Ad Factory, it's going to be hard to do, but we could make a lot of money. So let's just use this real quick, and I'll just plot like how I think about Towing.com. Towing.com could make good money. I'd probably say it's up in this range of what it can do for Towing.com. And how hard is it? How hard is it to execute on our ideas or the ideas that I would have for Towing.com? It's mostly easy. So I'd put like a Towing.com right out here. Tow. Make sense? Pretty basic stuff. So after you plot your various projects or your different ideas, this could be maybe you have one site and you're having trouble deciding between all the different features or things you can add to that site. You can plot all the features on here and decide like, okay, well, what if we added a vendor directory, which added a way for people to, find credit card processors and different vendor type stuff. Well, that would be pretty easy to do, but realistically, it probably wouldn't make much money. And you can plot all these different things. And what we are looking to do is identify the items that are in this box up here. And when we find the items in this box, what is essentially happening is we are determined, this is showing us the best possible solution according to these two variables, profit and ease. Does that make sense? Then you could do the exact same thing. You can erase, change up ease and hard or hard and ease. And you can go with things like, you can change the access to anything you'd like. I like to use these two here. How hard is it going to be, and how profitable is it going to be? You can also do that with, I like to do it with break even. That would be like the third one. So break even to the expenses or break even to your goal. So for example, when we bought Towing.com and I went through this process, Towing.com, the break even was our loan amount for the most part. Like we needed to make, I believe it was like $1,200 a month to be able to pay the loan for Towing.com. So we knew that our break even was $1,200. We had to get there. So we plotted it and we said, how hard is it going to be if we buy Towing.com to make that money back? And we actually determined that it would be very easy to do that. So it can be very profitable and easy. So Towing.com, when we plotted it on break-even numbers and profitability, was up in this section. You can do this for the various variables. Here's the four different decision maker factors that we can use that I love. One, of course, profit. You could do that as either revenue or profit. I highly recommend profit because it kind of includes expenses rather than revenue, which is if you make $1 million, but you spend $990,000 to do it, it doesn't really tell you much. You need to know like what's your estimated profit on something. Second was the ease. Like, how easy is this going to be? Are you capable of this already? Do you already have the skills and everything you need to do this? So it's like, boom, you spend a week or a couple weeks and voila. The other would be more of a time base. Like, how long will it take you to get to break even? You know, whether it's a $1,200 towing.com payment, or whether it's, you know, you want to be able to quit your job and you need to get your project to $10,000 a month in order to do that or something. Well, how easy is it going to be to get to there? Or how much time do you think it would take you to get there? You plot those on the 2x2, and all we're looking for is the projects or the opportunities that are showing up in the top square, that most valuable square. Because we can make a lot of money, we can do anything, right? We have nothing but ideas and opportunities. What we lack is the knowing exactly which one we want to work on. Number four, the final one that I did not mention yet, is kind of the lifestyle. Will the business or opportunity support your lifestyle? All too often, we do not include this. Yet, you know, a lot of people will dive into a business and then realize they've really made a mistake, and I do not want that for you. So what does lifestyle look like? For me, it's what's the time it's going to take to maintain this? How much time am I going to have to spend on this? How much money is it going to require? I tell a story that I bought a building, 10 years or more ago, and I bought the building because I wanted to put a coffee shop in the front and a game center in the back. And I was like, they were all these hobbies that I wanted to bring to the world, and I bought the building to do that. And then as I analyzed the business using this exact process, what I realized was, yeah, it could make enough money. It could be an easy enough business to operate, but the lifestyle of it would essentially be, you know, a full-time job with responsibility and limitations. And I'd be like imprisoned to that business at times as I adjust for other people's schedules, or it's a retail business. You got to be open when people expect it to be open. And basically what I looked at was the lifestyle score on that, between, you know, the high access, which is like lifestyle, goes along with my ideal life well. And on the other side, it would really, really suck. Well, it really, really sucked. And I realized that I bought the building and that was pretty much a mistake. Should have probably did this beforehand, right? So we'll keep these in factor. And then the fourth one, or the bonus one, because I have a bonus one for you. So we've had profit, ease, the time spent to get the break even and or your goal. And then fourth being your lifestyle. The bonus one that I have for you is just in general, what's your desire for it? You know, a lot of times you just need to include your desire. That money, if you base your decision based on money alone and you're not really motivated by money, that's kind of where I find myself a lot of times. Like if I don't desire to do a project, that really matters as to whether I even want to put it on my list. So that's another way that I would use the 2x2 is kind of just, what's my gut tell me? What's my feel for this idea, this project? Then what you will have is, you know, 3, 4, up to 5 using these different 2x2 factors. You will have all these different graphs, and you're just looking for the ones that spend the most time up in your key box. Make sense? Well, we'll play with it a little bit as we go through domains, because that's what I want to spend some time on, is domain names, because that's what we're here for. So let me drop that off, and I'm going to bring up the screen share. Like I said, the scene switches can be fun at times. Window, here we go. So there we are. We're back over to expireddomains.net, our friendly expireddomains.net site. So hopefully you've seen the 2x2 grid. You understand kind of the principles behind it. And if it seems like, Drew, that's like super easy, yeah, it's supposed to be easy. And what we are trying to get after is seeing data plotted in a way that we can visually make a decision. So we're going to try to do that with some of the domains we're going to see today. I'm at expireddomains.net, and I've already went to the Marketplace tab, GoDaddy expired domains here, and you can follow that along. And if it was too fast, I guess you could rewind or watch another episode. We do it every week. We're going to go to filters, and I am going to set up the filters as I traditionally do, and that is 1 to 3 English words. You're welcome to do whatever words you or language you like. No numbers, no hyphens, because we want to get rid of those because, well, this isn't 1999 or 2003. They actually matter quite a bit. We're going to make sure they end in 7 days or less. And then we're going to go up here to the additional tab. And with additional, we are looking to, I wish this was like a primary tab, but we want to get rid of .com. Or I'm sorry, we want to only include .com domains. Those are really the only domains we want to look at for the purpose of development. Well, I think you know that by now. Okay, so now once we do that, now we see the domains as listed. These are all the expiring domain names, 67,000 domain names expiring this week, meeting those criterias. Our buddies expireddomains.net, which I've never met them, but I'm sure they're freaking fantastic since they put together such a good tool for us. Now we get to see the domain names that are expiring and up for auction this week. So we're going to look through these domains, and we're going to look for the ones that are best for development projects. Domain to profit, right? We're looking to create a project that creates the life that we want for ourselves. Adfactory.com. We talked about that last week, right? I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to scroll all the way down. And no, I'm not. I'm going to go all the way back up. Okay. Let me do a little maintenance on my list because there's something I want to do. I want to use this watch list to keep track of the domain names that we consider during the show this week. So I figure if we manage the watch list, what we'll be able to do is look at the end of the show to see all the domain names. Oh, no, I got to do the filters again. And I know that you may not be able to see the filters because it's off the screen a little bit. It's just the exact same ones we just did. Additional.com only. And applying the filter. Taking it down from 49,000 to 67,000 still. So that's a good start when the numbers actually okay. We're back here again. Please stand by. Okay, Real You, Blockbox, Ad Factory. I'm going to mark that one. I believe we talked about it last week. The idea being when we think about our 3-minute business plan for adfactory.com, which let me see what that one's going for. Okay, so this is in the last minutes. $3,800. I'm guessing that domain's probably priced approximately right. I like it in that vicinity. I am not bidding. I believe I bid on it possibly a couple thousand, but I mean, I'm not going to build it. When I look at it on this kind of on a 2x2 look, it could be profitable. It could be really profitable. But the amount of effort that it's going to take, the amount that's going to take to get the break even, do I have the skills even necessary to do it? I don't. Like, it's going to take a lot more than what I ever want to put into it. So it's really a low box on what I would want. So at $3,800, good luck to whoever that is. That was adfactory.com. We'll check back in, see what that went for later on. So wedding favors, fruit shop. Isn't there a bank called Kamba? Something like that? Maybe. Women's apparel. No, I don't like. So in that case, like, what would you sell on it? You know, when we're talking about what a good domain name for development is, We want the domain name to tell us what's on it. We want it to sound authoritative and validate the idea that we're looking for. Does that do that? Sure, I guess. But women's apparel, it doesn't sound. I'm not going to go look at it in SpyFu, but realistically, that's what we should do with it. I'm just going to skip over it this time, though. Las Vegas Limo. And if somebody wants to call me out and say, hey, you should do the SpyFu for women's apparel, I can do it. Doesn't sound like fun. My desire, that bonus 2x2 factor, my desire to develop a women's apparel site is very low, very, very low. Las Vegas Limo. So this one grabbed my attention mostly because limo and basic transportation sites usually have some pretty big cost per clicks. So think about if you've ever gotten a limo for, maybe Lee had one for his wedding, maybe, or maybe you got a limo for, high school prom, whatever it is. They're kind of freaking expensive, right? Well, that carries over to some good numbers. And I know this from other domains I've looked at. You see the cost per click. The cost per click on LasVegasLimo.com, $2.99. And there's 6 advertisers there. So we're not into that, I love to see double-digit advertisers. We're not there, but 6 is pretty good. So, and then when we look up here, we see 1,700 monthly volume. So there's some search. So there's some juice with this domain name. Let's click on it and see what it looks like here. So we'll talk. So this one ends in 5-6 days, currently at $2,200. So it's already up there quite a bit. So people know, hey, this is a profitable little niche. What would you put on Las Vegas Limo? Well, as many Las Vegas limo companies as you possibly can. And or if you want to go the pay-per-lead way, go that way. Whatever it is that you want to do. I love directories, as you know, mostly because one of the things that I really look for is that lifestyle factor. If you do a lead site, so many different ways of monetizing require you to be very active in the business, and you're always charging credit cards or making sales or replacing customers or all these different things, where I've found that kind of the more simple, a directory, what I call internet marketing as a service type, using that domain name to monetize it and provide services for the businesses in that area, that would apply to this kind of thing. Although it's only Las Vegas, it's not all of limos, so you're limited by geographic area. So one of the things we talk about pretty frequently is the local Legion 300, the idea of finding one paying customer in the top 300 cities. That's not going to apply to Las Vegas Limo, right? This is most likely only going to be the limo companies in Vegas. I'd probably end up going more of the lead site if I was to buy this. I'm pretty confident that Las Vegas limo companies are paying $5 to $20 per lead. That's just a guess, but when a cost per click's about $2.99, you got to figure they're probably paying for 10 clicks before they get a valid lead. So pretty safe to say they're paying $20 to $30 per lead. If you went the lead site way, we can go to the 2x2 idea. It could be if we're making $20 per lead, say we get a couple hundred leads per month. Yeah, you can make a couple $1,000s a month. I think that would be, so the profit's kind of low. It's on the lower side. I don't really see a ton of upside with it. I see $2,000 to $4,000 a month being very possible and possibly even easy in the grand. When we compare them to other sites, when our experience kicks in, I see Las Vegas Limo being kind of that middle of the road, hard to easy. It goes with lifestyle pretty well. It's going to require some ongoing maintenance. So as we plotted around, now this is where I get into trouble, is I don't have a way to show you. Let me switch cameras one more time here. I want to show you that 2x2 grid. And for some, oh, I got to just turn the camera back on. Come on, dude. Act like you've been here before. Okay. So now when I go back to the 2x2, essentially what we get to do here is when we think of Las Vegas limo, I'm thinking, yeah, it can be profitable, maybe down in this area. And then it's going to be pretty easy. So Las Vegas limo falls in this area here. Would you agree? Not agree? And then if we were to plot this again, if we went to time to break even, it looks like it's going for, $6,000 is probably what I would estimate the price is going to be. So to get the break even, you got to be able to make, $6,000 total spread over the course of maybe a year. You get the break even 6 months or so. So maybe down in this area. Basically, Las Vegas, I see this one being kind of a lower box. And we really only want to concentrate ideally on the ones that are in the top box, the ones that are going to be most profitable and easiest ones. That's what we're looking for. So, oh my goodness, we got 3 cameras going on here. This is madness, but I like it. I like what I see here. So LasVegasLimo.com. I'll add that to our list. Community Club, FurnitureMakers.com. That sounds like kind of a cool domain name. I don't know, Furniture Makers. I'm going to mark that one. Let's check it out. Let's see like custom furniture. Furniture Makers. I'm a maker at heart. Maybe you are as well. And by that I just mean I love creating stuff. So the idea of a furniture maker, especially like artistic stuff or custom couches or something, like that'd be cool. So 780 people searching for it, pretty low. There's actually some people paying for that advertising, and then 73 cents, pretty cheap. So not a whole lot. Furniture makers near me. There you go. That's one of those things that that's why we look down at these keywords. Furniture makers, we would own that domain name. Near me, that's just people looking for local. So that tells us that 2,800 people are looking for furniture makers to be a localized domain name. So furniture makers near me, that means that local Legion 300, finding one advertiser in the top 300 cities, those 300 cities in the US that have over 100,000 population, boom, first 300 customers, and you can target those 2,800 customers there. Specifically, also you can go for these custom wood furniture makers near me. Our domain name, FurnitureMakers.com, are part of each of these different keywords, which that's what we love to see. So even though we have kind of low exact monthly searches, kind of a low cost per click, there's some traffic here. I can see why that domain name is currently going for $1,800. Ooh, well, bummer. Another one ending in just a couple minutes. So we'll have to come back to that one, check to see where that one ends. If you were to plot that one, FurnitureMakers.com, I like it. It's pretty easy. Could be profitable. I'd probably put that one in this box, Furniture Makers. But it's going to end before the end of the show, so either make that decision quickly or move along. What do you think of the 3 windows? Is this okay? I kind of like this. I've never gotten a chance to use this camera, so. Okay. Code Projects? Maybe, maybe not. Kind-Hearted. What a sweet domain. That domain name, Kind-Hearted, there should just be pictures of kittens. Somebody buy Kind-Hearted and put like pictures of kittens on it. Please, just do that. Okay, anyhow, Kind-Hearted, like kids with kittens and puppies. That's what I picture on kindhearted.com. Okay, ends in 2 days, $393. What would we do with this one? Love the lifestyle of it, maybe. Who doesn't like to deal with kind-hearted stuff? I just don't know what I would do with it. So fun domain, but more of an investable than, I don't know, toss your Toss your business ideas out there for kind-hearted. I don't know how to profit from puppies and kids. In fact, I'm probably going to have the FBI looking into me now that I've said that. Okay, adchat.com. I'm getting all red because that just cracked me up a little bit. Adchat.com. Asset view. Kind of interesting. You can see that going with digital assets, wood connection, virtual talent. Crosses into the brandables a bit. And yes, I like it too. Like when my internet connection, yeah, the 3 screens, it is fire. It is fire. So, okay. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody too much when I'm talking 2x2s. It occurred to me it probably would have been better off on paper. Then I could have went sheet to sheet or something. And then we could have looked at a 2x2 of each of the 5 different factors. And also, what factors would you add to a 2x2? Like, those are the ones that I use, but certainly you can do others as well. Just as long as you can put on one of the axes something that really matters to you. That's the key. The older I've got, the more I've found that lifestyle it's really hard for me to change my lifestyle. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy how I do it. So anytime I look at a new business, it's important for me to really think about, like, how is this going to change the way that I live? How is this going to change the time I spend, the effort I have to put into? Am I going to have to spend more time doing stuff I hate? That's part of it. So do you know yourself well enough to know what you hate? I do. I hate shopping. I hate going to a physical freaking store and shopping, walking around. I hate traffic and waiting in line. So if I had to run a freaking something that required me to go stand in line, or I sold that building, the one that I talked about, the coffee shop, I sold that one because it was another 5-6 miles down the road. That was part of why I sold that building. And it was 5 miles of freaking red lights every 4 blocks. And my life is so much better with the building being up here. So Matt mentioned Loaded Gun. Maybe that's the one that he's referring to as it's fire. Loaded Gun, it's fire, fired. No, too much? Okay, I can't all win. I don't know. This sounds like a blog. Loaded Gun sounds like a really good blog. I did not see that one, though. Feel free to shout them out in the chat as well. I know it's brandable, but I thought Wine Cart was interesting. Wine Cart is actually, I'm sure there's something called a Wine Cart also. Oh, let's go to SpyFu. If it's more than 500, then I'll do something for it. Wine. Is that 2 words or? We'll go with that. Let's see. One of my I made a wine rack one time out of old spare wood. Oh my gosh, there you go. Thank you, Matt. You brought us something with a lot of keywords. So Wine Cart, 2,700 searches. Not many people paying for it. 53, so not much money behind it. Bar cart with wine rack, wine carts. So we are definitely talking about a physical product, specifically in regards to wine carts. Okay, so let's go check. Let me find Wine Cart. We were around, it's right here. I am way over caffeinated. Okay, GoDaddy, what's up? Unless is my internet down? I don't think my internet's down. Okay, well, winecart.com, according to this, was at $449. Ends in approximately 5 days, 34 bidders. So a lot of activity on it. Based on that, I mean, we're talking about a couple $1,000s possibly worth that. I find it funny that it appears this is down. Is it my internet? Obviously, it's not my internet if I'm still live. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I feel like I'm jinxing things. Okay, so let's look at Winecart a little bit on 2x2. Selling wine carts, as you likely know, I don't like physical products. They're more difficult to sell. Can you create a directory to sell wine carts, and then you don't have to sell them? You just provide a directory that allows other people to sell their wine carts. Sure. Are you going to make a lot of money off that? Probably not. I think we're talking kind of a low profit. How hard is it going to be? Again, it's going to be easy. So I'm thinking Winecart. Winecart.com falls in that range. Now, here's one of the things to kind of think about when we come down to, yes, we want stuff that's up here, right? We're looking for stuff in that primary box. If your desire to work with something to do with wine, if you love wine, you freaking just have been looking for something to do with wine, this could be your opportunity to get into it. So that bonus factor of desire, that may be the part that brings it up into this top box. You just have to decide what factors are most important to you. Is it going to be the lifestyle piece of it? Is it going to be the profitability of it? You may be low profit or low revenue, but if it is high desire, this is why high desire is why I have DJs.com, bartenders.com, photobooths.com. Those are all tourguides.com. Those are all high desire domains. Now, they do fall a bit more in this because I know the business model, my business model fits this, that idea of a directory and search of local companies and things. So it fits into this box, but not always. I mean, it could, but my desire for those industries really ramped it up. And when I think about even towing, my desire to innovate for towing is pretty low. Even though the profit's high, the ease is high, my desire to do more in towing specific is kind of low. And that pulls towing down compared to other projects. So all of these things come together. That's an important piece. Well, we're getting some Russian bots coming in. I guess that means maybe we finally made it in the world where we have spammers coming in. Okay, so there we go, winecart.com, and let's see if GoDaddy is back up. So friendly driving, I'll mark that one. So what do you think? Like Winecart, I know a lot of people really want, the product stuff. I have always wanted to do a product, like sell a product, create a physical product. But in reality, though, I know the desire piece, it'd be more of a hobby. It wouldn't be a business. Code God. Ah, wait, we got to go big camera for that one. Code God. Ah. There we go. Humor break. I don't like code, Code God. That's somebody's personal block. Here you go. Unamused. Where are you unamused with my Code God? Okay, there we go. Is that real? Is that like the legit unamused? Is that the right way to spell that? Unamused. Oh, I tossed in a T for some reason. Are you laughing at me? My wife is amused. She's in the other room laughing at me because she knows, as you probably do by this point, not a good speller. So, unamused. Okay, that's the actual spelling of that. That's a fun little, if you're a serious person, maybe you're unamused. What would you put on it? I'm guessing more of a serious blog. I don't, unamused. 4 days left, 5 days left, essentially. It looks like GoDaddy's back up. Let's see if this one's back up or if it's just. So $55. I would see this one going for at least $1,000 because it's a single word. It is a little bit of a negative word. I think people would prefer to be amused versus unamused. But I do like it as a investable domain name. And if I was logged into GoDaddy, I would probably bid on that one, but I'm not logged into GoDaddy today, so it'll happen after the show. But I like that domain name. I'll easily bid that up to probably $800 some if I decide to participate. So, exactly. I'm going big camera again. Are you not entertained? Is this not what you came for? If you came for entertainment, I think you maybe found the wrong show. I have my moments. I don't know if that's one of them, though. Okay. As far as for great domains, peeps. That is a good domain name, by the way. If you're looking for an investable domain name, that'll easily go for low four figures. But again, it would be an investable domain name, meaning you would buy it to either sell it to somebody that loves it more than you, or you would buy it if you were to try to make money off of it. If we were to toss that in a 2x2, getting any traction for a brandable type domain name is going to be tough. Like, especially when you think about it in like break-even terms. How are you going to make $2,000 off Unamused? Well, you probably have to sell some ads. To sell ads, you're going to need to have traffic. To get traffic, you're going to have some SEO or some like really shareable, sticky, great content. All of that's going to be very hard. And then how much you really going to make off of it? It's going to be low profit. So you're Unamused, I see as this down in this lower section. I don't see a way to bring that up, like to get it out of that box. But I do like it. My domain investor hat, I like that domain name. So, oh my goodness, we got text happening here. Would you say Unamused or? That's a good question. I am not amused. I would definitely say I'm not amused, but unamused is an actual word though. So even if it is I would say not amused is more common, but I mean, that's two words versus one. So again, domain investor hat, not really being something I would probably buy for the sake of domain to profit. It's not going to be a profitable domain name unless you just sell it off. Well, I feel like there could be a different Unamused. It appears that we kind of got the same kind of line of thinking. So evidently I'm off on my own, but that's okay. That's okay. That's a good shout. I have no. Okay, I'm a little lost, but that's it happens. It happens. Cloud storage reviews. Review domains actually used to be pretty big. I think they've dropped off a little bit. Hot styles. That's me right here. I have hot style. And actually, no, embarrassing enough, it occurred to me just recently that I've not bought clothes in like 2 years. It's been like seriously like 2 years since I've bought clothes. So there's nothing about me that is very trendy. Is that embarrassing? Should I not share that? Is that like too much information? No, they get cleaned often. Okay. I think I'm blushing again. Alchemist Group. Are we on page 2 yet? For the love of goodness, we're not on page 1 still, right? AI award. I'm sure there's something there. Although, to my knowledge, artificial intelligence isn't very competitive, so maybe they don't really care if they win an award or not. That's not the right spelling of that, if I'm not mistaken. I would do an OR. I'm not sure if that's what spelling that is. If you were to buy that, that would just be such a nightmare to tell anybody, oh yes, localadvisor.com, and it's Visor, SER, not SOR. That domain name is not actually localadvisor.com. It's localadvisorser.com is how you'd have to say that every freaking time. Mason Hub. Stroke program. Is the siren showing up? They're not coming here. I don't know if anybody here, like when I was doing a NamesCon, I was talking at NamesCon online one time, and the freaking fire alarm was going off in the building. Firefighters showed up, and that is not today. That was funny stuff, though. Yeah, I can't keep up. There's nothing about me that keeps up. If your goal is to be trendy and keeping up in life, I don't even know how you do that nowadays. I don't even think it's possible. Let's make a 2x2 grid about keeping up. Okay. 8 minutes left. On to the next page. Let's go on to the next page. Let's do some more. Let's see if we get rewarded for keeping on. Anybody see anything I'm missing? Maybe we should check in on those furnituremakers.com ended, and unfortunately, why doesn't it show the freaking price that it went for? That's annoying as all heck. Okay, well, I don't have the actual amount that it ended for. Why it doesn't end and say, like, this is the price that it went for? That'd be nice. And then they could show, like, the difference between the actual price and their estimate, since, Okay, I won't show those then. If somebody has them, feel free to update them in chat. I did not, I'd have to look into them, though. Look them on namebio.com. Custom trips. I like that one a little bit. I like travel domains. Custom trips. I wanted to work in travel, and I've looked for domains in travel for a long time. And a long time ago, as of this point, I was like, hey, Crystal, my wife, and I'm like, hey, let's become travel agents just for research sake. And so we went to essentially like a travel agent school and opened a franchise. Needless to say, I've like booked like no travel, and she does travel now. And she always says, remember that time that you talked me into being a travel agent? Yeah, jerk. Yeah, she doesn't really do that much anymore. But custom trips, point being, this would be really good for helping people plan custom trips. You put together the worksheets, things like that. And you help people search through travel and put together a custom trip. Lee, this sounds like you, buddy. You put together that elaborate wedding and stuff. Custom trips, you sound like you're already on this. So customtrips.com, 4 days ending, $12 currently. Travel domains typically go for a little bit of money. How would you monetize it? I would say if you could just get it to where you're providing tools and bringing the organization of a trip into one place. This was always, I own planacruise.com. My idea was to do essentially that. So I'll probably even bid on this domain name a little bit under that idea that if I ever get planacruise.com off and running someday, if I was to plot that on the 2x2, it would be probably in this area, kind of this. It's pretty hard to do, but it's not going to even be all that great profit-wise. But desire-wise, it's pretty high. Like the desire of it would be pretty high. So nonetheless, it's a low priority though. Customtrips.com, I say you keep it down to tools, get people to pay like maybe a membership fee or a one-time fee to get access to worksheets and some tools that allow them to plan a trip, and you charge them per trip to plan it. And then if they want to plan another trip, they can do it or pay the monthly subscription. Sounds good to me. I think there's some action, some action there. Profitability. Let's plot custom trips down on here. I don't see it being high profit. The tools and worksheets, especially if you do them one time, I'd say profit would even be lower. So let's go custom trips down in there. So of the ones that we've looked at so far, we got adfactory.com, Las Vegas Limo. Not sure what these ones are anymore, but custom trips and whatever FM. So FM, whatever that one is the one that Furniture Maker. But the auction's closed. But that one would be the only one that made it to grouping one so far. And I didn't bid on it because it was ending so soon. Oh yeah, here you go. Thank you, Lee. Lee grabbed us some data. It ended up going for $23.75 is what he believes it ended at. And NameBio updated instantly, which I do not really. He's namebio.com, cool little tool that keeps track of sales. They just recently started to do real-time updates, which is really cool, a couple months ago. So furnituremakers.com, somebody picked up what I would consider a box one, this priority one type box for furnituremaker.com. Be great if it's one of you. If not, but that's okay. We see box one type stuff pretty frequently on here. Probably about what, one a week, maybe 3 every 2 weeks or so. We definitely had some misses, but now the key is being patient. Okay. Being patient, saving up your money and getting the domain name that does meet this box. But that's one of the things that you can do also at this is, hey, wait for the good ones. Put the big money into a box one instead of making mistakes of spending, most of your bankroll on stuff that's in lower boxes. That's really one of the nice things about this decision-making grid, this 2x2 way of making decisions. Okay, I think that is going to be about that. We're going to start changing things up and wrapping up I don't know why I'm talking like that all of a sudden. It happens though. And if I know anything about you, you'll forgive me. Stop sharing the screen. And then we'll go to that camera. And we'll go large. So that way we can go with a little moving camera for the ending. So there we go. We talked about the 2x2 grid, and we looked at how we would use it to make decision making. So the idea just being, boom, 2x2, a couple axes, like you're back in algebra class in 8th grade, freshman year. And all you're trying to do is on one axis, you're putting profit. Or in the other axis, ease. How easy can you do this? How much time might it take you to get to break even or to some other goal, monetary goal? What would the impact be of your lifestyle? What is your desire to do it? You put all these different things on 2x2 grids, plot all your different features or all your different projects that you could do onto the grid. You're looking for those items in box one, those top things that are just like, they visually glare and yell at you and say, these are the ones you need to do. And then you just stick with it. Just stick with that decision. You now have a visual way to see the number one thing you need to spend your time on. Now go do it. Ignore all the other stuff and do the one thing that you know is going to be the most impactful, the most profitable, the easiest, all the different factors that you put on that grid. Now you know, and you no longer just have to kind of guess or worry that you're regretting or missing something. So, make sense? I think so. Okay, well, it is 4 o'clock. I think we came up with some pretty good domain names. Congratulations to whoever got that, furnituremaker.com that ended. Let me share out the screen one more time to just give a quick update on the domain names that I should have never taken it off. Okay, so we are going out to, so here's what I was thinking. I pulled this together. Now we can go to my watch list and look at all the different domains we talked about today. So we looked at customtrips.com. That one kind of ended up in that lower box, didn't make it into number one. Unamused, we put as more of a, sorry, I'm getting the, show up, boom. Oh, whoa, there's me. Me. Hey, Drew. Okay. So we got unamused.com. I said with the investor hat on, I kind of like that one from the idea of just being a blog. It's a nice one word, interesting domain name. Winecart was the sleeper of the day. It did not end up in box one, but if the desire to do something with wine is there for you, the numbers looked pretty good for winecart.com. Kindhearted.com, again, more of a blog than anything else. I would love for you to buy it and put pictures of puppies playing with kids and stuff on it. Okay. FurnitureMakers.com, that one already ended, went for, as Lee mentioned, over $2,300. That was the only one that made it to box one. That was the only one that we thought, or that I analyzed and said, hey, this could make some money. This could be good revenue, good profit, and it can be done pretty easily just implementing some of the basic directory and local Legion 300 type strategies. LasVegasLimo.com was already going for pretty good money. It did not make it to box one being the top right box. It did not make it there. It kind of hung out in the lower right box. It'd be easy, but because it's limited to Las Vegas specifically, it means that it's not going to be as much profit or revenue available to you as if you just had a national type domain name. And then finally, adfactory.com, which I believe that one ended also. That one, tons of opportunity to make profit. However, it's going to be freaking hard. I can't imagine the amount of programming and things that you'd have to put into that to make it the profitable opportunity that it could be. So that one ended up in the upper left box, which would be, profitable, but really freaking hard. We're looking for box one. So I believe all that makes sense. I believe in you. I think we got it. More Russian bots. We appreciate you. I guess. Okay. So there we go. That's Domain to Profit for this January 10th. So whether you've been watching on LinkedIn or watching over on YouTube with the rest of us community, we appreciate you. Make sure you've liked, subscribed to the video. Thank you, everybody, for commenting, hanging out with me for a bit as we look to these domain names. I will see you next week as we go back to look through for more domains and find the domains that we can turn into businesses, ideally those perfect opportunities that we can decide to act on, create something great for our lives and opportunities. Until next week at 3 p.m., I'll see ya. Take care.